Welcome to Goonies World. My name is Goonie, also known as Colin, and I am joined by Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hey, I beat Sean to it.
And Johnny Farrell, also known as Sean.
Now I have to do a double. Hey. What do you think of that?
Damn, I got out of hate.
Yeah, it was necessary. We got to get those hays in.
That's right.
Proper amount. Anyway, for the first time ever, we have a guest GM. Woo. But you already know him. It's the good Dr. H, also known as Zach.
Hey.
Oh, my.
It's me. I think that was the correct amount.
Jeez.
I don't know.
I was counting, man. That's right.
Math is hard, and that's why we're playing a very simple math game today when we get there. So.
Yeah, we're playing Tunnel Goons.
Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to come on and do a little GMing for you, some goon mastering, as the case may be here, as we're playing Tunnel Goons. So this is a very simple rules light system written by Nate Treem or Treme or Treemy or however you pronounce your name, good sir. Apologies there.
I've heard he is Treemy.
Treemy, yeah, quite Treemy.
So Treemy.
That Nate, very Treemy. And then also in conjunction with something called the Highland Paranormal Society, whatever that is. We're specifically playing Tunnel Goons version 1.2, rules light system that's out there that you can go get at your leisure, and highly recommend it. It's fun and easy. In addition to that, we can't just do the basics, so we're adding on for our game today. Spells for Goons, which is a supplement written by Caleb Jones that's out there as well. It seems like the Tunnel Goon community has a lot of additional material out there that you can just go find and use, and that's great. So we thank those people and those gentlemen for allowing us to use that, and hopefully having a couple good sessions of fun role-playing here as we go in. So we will meet our characters soon enough, but we're going to jump right in. Our characters are part of an adventuring company, and I didn't explicitly tell you all this, but I probably should have, so you could have some time to think of it. Did anybody want to throw out this kind of a mercenaries guild or an adventuring guild that you all already know each other in, that you've done a number of adventures already together, but did anyone think of a name for that adventurers guild or would like to propose one now for us?
I was actually going to refer to ourselves as the Tunnel Goons. I mean...
Yeah, let's appropriate the game to
Yeah.
There we go. And so our Tunnel Goons from the Tunnel Goons Adventuring Company have already done some adventures, but that we find ourselves here in the Kingdom of Karlton. And currently it is called the Kingdom of Karlton as seen over by King Karl. However, historically, the name of the kingdom changes every time there's a new king, because that's what this lineage of monarchs like to do. So we've had, King Charlton, and we've had King, Rutherfordton or something, or whatever they would be in the past. But it's currently King Karl and his kingdom of King Karlton. Our adventurers find themselves specifically in the city-state of Greenport, which is a kind of a docksy, mercantile-y, market-driven, on a large bay of some sort. We're in a kind of a high fantasy world, and we find ourselves standing outside of the manor of Lord Lank. Lord Lank has summoned our Tunnel Goons, representatives from the Tunnel Goons, to meet with, and that he has some work that he'd like to potentially give out to the Tunnel Goons. And you are the three individuals that have been sent to meet with Lord Lank. Now, this is a fairly high honor. Not very many people. He is within the Council of Karl, which is the cabinet of advisors that meet with King Karl from time to time, as this kingdom is a series of city-states, a random number of city-states, and this one happens to be being run currently, or being peeraged. I looked up that word by Lord Lank. So you are all probably kind of, oh my gosh, we're gonna meet with the guy. We're meeting with the Lord. This is exciting. But you find ourselves standing outside of his manor. Large manor house, multiple buildings, probably a small complex. kind of knocking on the front gate when a snooty individual answers on the other side of the door. He's like, "Oh, yes, why are you here?"
We got business.
Business? See, what business do you have with the Lord's estate?
I think you got a job for us.
We were summoned. I think.
You are the goons from the Tunnel Goons, are you?
That's right.
Yeah, we've been in a lot of tunnels. We've been in natural tunnels. We've been in ancient tunnels. We've been in sewer tunnels.
Yes. You can. That sounds thoroughly exciting. Yes. Right this way, please. And he opens the gate and leads you in. You can kind of see the grounds that are around these buildings. Very well maintained. Lots of hedges that have been, sculpted into horses. Look like horses, or look like suits of armor, or looks like whatever. And you all, we will certainly shortly allow you to describe yourselves and where you came from, some of your backstory. But surely, whatever that is, this is a step up in society from what you are used to. Gideon, his name, he did not tell you that, but we're going to assume that somehow the world provides there and lets you know. Gideon leads you kind of down a cobblestone path into a main foyer and kind of looks at you. And one thing with Tunnel Goons is that one of the starting pieces of equipment, we're going to peel in the onion here, is that you start with a spectacular cloak, a color of your choice in a cloak. And so you have entered the cloakroom, and he turns and looks at you and is like, "Yes, well, you may put your belongings here if you wish," and points to a series of hooks on the wall.
I just prefer to keep mine on, thank you.
No, it's not particularly civilized when you're meeting with high society. And he kind of gives you from a top to bottom look up and down when he says that.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
Splendid. Any of you also clutching to your pearls?
No, I take my cloak. I put it the hook. I put it on hook. I don't want to offend the Lord. Yeah.
Well, if it is truly your wish and not our command, and it is truly ours and not, I'll hold on to my cloak.
Yes, very headstrong you all are, I suppose.
I just feel...
He lets out a very exasperated sigh and kind of rolls his eyes and his head and his body all in such an obvious manner that it's just like, geez, yeah.
Well, I'm actually not wearing any pants under it, so it's embarrassing.
Well, that is gauche, indeed. However, yes, well, that aside, let's go this way. You'll be enjoying a meal with the Lord in this room. And he kind of leads you through the manor. Again, just not too far, just through a couple rooms, but this is more, and again, we'll certainly let you all give your backstories here in a minute, but well beyond, more opulent and well beyond the means of what, even if you thought you were a little hoity-toity, this is the governor, effectively, of this area, and there's just old tomes everywhere, and taxidermy, and little, not knickknacks as in like non-high quality, but just little sculptures and little, hourglasses and telescopes and globes and just this very opulent show and collection of items as you're led through sort of a library and into a dining room. And again, a grand dining room. Large table, probably could seat 20 or 30 people. And you all are set on one side, and you look down, and there's like 2 bowls and 4 plates and 9 forks and 3 goblets, and immediately, again, you're just kind of met with oh man, this is okay, here we go, kind of a deal. And surely, you all have been adventuring for the Tunnel Goons for a while, and certainly have some successes under your belt. But this is pretty high class, high society stuff you're being brought into here. Gideon kind of turns to you, he's like, "Well, you'll be enjoying a meal with the Lord, and I should obviously need to give you fair warning. that the Lord enjoys his meals very much. And when he enters the chamber and begins to consume, it is of utmost etiquette that you do not interrupt and allow him to speak to you first before you should interrupt his meal. He is welcoming you as well. However, I would say that we do need to get one thing out of the way. We have the best cooks in all of Greenport in the kitchen, and you are our guests, after all. And I would be remiss if I did not ask what dish and drink you would like at this dinner this evening.
Well, I would like peanut butter and banana sandwich. Go heavy on heavy on.
Oh, you have exotic tastes, my friend. I should know.
Mildly toasted, and a glass of chocolate milk, please.
Do you have poroshka?
We have the finest chefs in all the land, sir. If you could spell that for us, then I'm sure we could communicate that to the chefs to let them know that they could make it for you.
He'll write it down.
And the wine, please.
Yes. Any particular vintage or year or vintage or style that you
red and not sweet.
Excellent. All right. We have a nice Chianti that we can bring out for you, sir. And for you, and he gives you one up and down. He's like, and for you, sir.
I'm just used to eating hog. So if you've got some of that, I'll be happy to eat that.
Yes, I believe the Lord's hunters have brought some wild boar in recently that would be suitable to your high class needs, I'm sure. And for drink, sir.
Drink. I ain't had nothing but just regular river water, but I mean, they come in different flavors.
Yes, it must be from all of those spectacular tunnels you were telling me about earlier. I will make sure that we fetch the most, the closest approximation that we can get in these parts to river water for you.
Well, that sounds fine. Yeah.
Excellent. And please just take a seat and don't break anything. The Lord will be in shortly, I promise. And he kind of gives a very sarcastic bow, and then exits the room and leaves you in here. And again, just a grand dining room, quite opulent. There's all kinds of different forks, plates, goblets, paintings on the wall, tapestries, all that kind of jazz. Anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to, point of clarification, ask if, so like the multiple goblets and forks and plates and stuff, that's like per place setting, like for each of us.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm not sure which fork to use here. I guess I shouldn't eat a peanut butter and banana sandwich with a fork. Maybe I should. With a knife and fork.
Is it customary to eat that with a knife and a fork when in such high company? I don't know.
I think I will eat with a knife and fork.
I think even pizza you should eat with a knife and fork in this situation, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I won't do it. I just won't do it.
You're not going to eat hog with knife and fork?
No, ruins it. You gotta grab it with both hands and just shove it in your mouth and let the juices drip down your chin.
That is very gross. Thank you.
As you all have this conversation extrapolated over a few minutes, eventually you start to hear, the first thing you hear is heavy breathing as something large is moving down a hallway towards this room. And then you start to hear what sounds like 2 or 3 people's worth of chainmail that's just kind of just the sound of a large amount of chainmail being walked in as it's walking, kind of a deal, and you hear and then chain, and the door you came through kind of isn't thrown open angrily, but just you can tell something's leaning very heavy on it and pushes it open, and you get your first glimpse at Lord Lank, who is ironically named, of course, because he is a large fellow, and he kind of the sound of breathing is just him as he's navigating around the world. He's not an elderly gentleman, but a middle-aged, a little older gentleman, and he kind of has a waddle to him, but he's wearing his what you imagine to be his dress chainmail or something to that effect, and it's probably 2 men's worth of chainmail that's been put together, but it's very regal and nice, and it's polished and it's shined, and it has the Lord Lank crest, whatever would be on that, in the middle, and he kind of there's a larger chair on the opposite side of the table from you all, and when he, with a thud, a thunderous bang, sits down and kind of starts mumbling to himself. And as soon as the sound of his rotundness hits the chair, the back doors into the room open, and just a plethora of food is brought out. There's I don't know the levels of quality of a peanut butter and banana sandwich mildly toasted, but if there's, this is the bougie, boutique kind of restaurant on the corner, fancy place that you'd go to get brunch kind of version of it that's brought out. And for Ryan, you had wanted, I can't pronounce it, but whatever it is that that fine Russian folk
pierogies,
dish.
basically.
Yeah. Oh, pierogies. Okay, yeah. So they're just the nicest pierogies, and you can tell that they're very well made and overflowing with stuffing and just look delicious and smell wonderful. And they have brought you an entire small roast boar, and put down in front of you, Colin. And again, we're going to introduce our characters here in a minute, so we can get the full thing. But they've also put a little tiny dunce cap on it.
Like dunce cap on his head, apple in the mouth.
Yeah, but the dunce cap is made of, I don't know, some maybe really tightly formed applesauce or something like that, so it's edible, so it's part of the dish.
Nice.
And I don't know whether you would pick up on that's intended to be an insult or not, but I would imagine some of our other more erudite characters might.
Insults on them, 'cause I don't care.
And this all gets set down in front of you, and the drinks you requested are poured for you, and about 3 times as much food as any of you get put down in front of the Lord, and he might as well not know you exist yet, because he just dives in. And he's got his own boar, he's got a ham, he's got his potatoes, he's got his whatever that he baguettes and all these things that he's going through, and it's just this incredibly impressive, almost speed eating exercise that's happening over on that side of the table, and it just kind of goes on and on for a few minutes, and I presume you all ultimately you have a choice here, but I presume you all are continuing to follow instructions of don't speak until spoken to in this situation, and you just kind of are you all go ahead.
I'd probably be not talking to him, but I'd have to turn to the others and be like, we ain't supposed to say nothing, but how long we gotta wait? He could be feasting all day.
Just pass the salt and shut up.
Okay.
And he is so enthralled in his consumption that he probably just the volume of noise that comes from his enjoyment of this food, we're going to assume that he doesn't quite hear you, and get incredibly offended. But he, and eventually he gets, after 5 or 10 minutes. I assume you all are also going to eat in this time.
Yep.
And drink my red wine.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Well, you can imagine that this food is, of these versions of these things you're eating, some of the best you've ever had in your life. And that whereas a lot of the show of the opulence of this place, you could maybe think, is this really that? Is it that? This is, after all, just a city-state, and could it be that nice versus the King's actual stuff? And this is actually some of the best food you've ever had. And it was prepared very quickly and very specifically. So the chefs that they have back there not only must be wonderful chefs, but must be magical chefs as well, to be able to get such a bounty out to you all very specifically in a very specific amount of time. But eventually, after about 10 minutes, he's kind of gone through his first round, and he's... I'm just making and I'm not going to try to gross out every single listener that we have on this, but just know, if any of you are if triggered by mastication sounds, that the next 10 minutes or so of this might be a bit much. So I'll try to rate it in, but it's part of the role playing. So, but he's very, and he's kind of picking his teeth with like a rib on, like so you're them goons, huh? You them tunnel goons that they sent up here?
The very one.
What's my God, you don't look very goony to me. Maybe that one over there looks pretty goony. He points at Goonie's character, but I don't know the rest of you. No, what's your stories? Tell me about you.
Well, we've had many adventures together, and well, yeah, we think we make a pretty good team together.
Yeah, I forgot. Sucking something off of trying to get marrow out of a bone or something. Like, well, I don't know. You seem kind of country. Maybe you're from the backwoods and stuff. I was told that you wanted river water, but in these parts we introduce ourselves in these situations. So maybe I suggest you start again, friend, and tell me a little who you are, maybe a little bit about you, since I so graciously invited you into my home.
Well, okay, my name is Jubba Hogwad, and when I was a child, I was a smoke scrub. Okay, and then when I got a little bit older, I was a slab dragger. And I just dragged slabs all around, and I picked up some country muscles from doing that, that's for sure. And then during the war, if you want to know, I joined the rebels, and I'm still a rebel to this day. I got that rebel spirit in me, and it's not going anywhere.
And when you start to talk about that, this is, after all, a lord who serves the king. He kind of...
I'm up front.
He puts down the particular, like, brontosaurus rib or whatever he's eating at that time, and, like, kind of looks in the eye like... And then he kind of goes, he kind of gives you the, like, okay, go ahead, and continues eating while you continue talking, but...
Well, I mean, that's about it. I don't know what else you want to know about me. I am from the backwoods. I am.
That's obvious. What about you over there and your shiny old cloak on? What are you? What's your story?
Oh, thank you for noticing that. That's actually interior. Oh, Elric von Dazzle is my name. I am the leader of this group, and they may not know it, but I am. And I grew up soft, you might say. I was a book fetch as a child, and I parlayed that into a career as a library guide. But during the war, I gathered intel for the good guys. That's who. And yeah, I know it, and in truth, it was like both sides, But I tried to stay out of actual combat. But then I met these fellows, and I knew I needed to get myself in shape and respect myself as a man. We began adventuring together, You might have noticed my magical sword, and I pat it there at my side. This is Glamdrip. It is intelligent. It has an ego of its own I must constantly wrestle with. And I found it. Do you fellows remember when they remember when we found it. They were there, but we went into the Velvet Crypt, if you recall. We fought that mirror ball. When we fought the mirror ball, that was a rough one. Well, that's where I got this.
Yeah, I remember that one for sure.
Indeed. But I've learned a bit in the ways of magic as well. And that's just where I feel my specialty lies. And my cloak's actually black on the outside, but it has slightly not black geometric shapes, and stuff on it, where every now and then when the light shines on it right, you can see. But the inside is completely sequined, and I just kind of look like a skinny goth vampire Elvis. And that's me, sir.
Well, there. Yeah, very nice. You seem like a fine-standing gentleman.
Thank
I like fine-standing gentlemen. That's for sure. Yeah, indeed I do. Yeah.
Indeed.
And what about you over there?
Oh, well,
So first of all, I'll kind of describe him. He's actually he's not as big as Mr. Creosote over here, but he's he's tall and kind of big and kind of fat, not as corpulent as our host here.
Lord Lank.
Lord Lank, yes. But he's like just kind of smarmy looking. He's kind of like just wisps of hair. He's kind of middle aged, right? But like his clothes look just kind of shabby, and but he looks like he's smug. He's got this smug expression on his face, but clearly no real reason to actually be smug about anything. And he says,
yeah, my name is Les Brognar, and I come from the east. Yes, I was a smoke scrub also before moving here, and then I became a pit warden, but I did not like that, and then the war started, of course, and I had to go underground, and then I came back here west, and became a tunnel goon, of course.
Oh, fascinating. Fascinating. And he kind of, just every time he talks to you, it's just interrupted with more and more just bites of whatever into his mouth. We appreciate Elric. One of the things that, not necessarily inherent to the Tunnel Goons system, but to the particular adventure we're running tonight, was each of our characters started with a specific item and a specific favorite adventure that our team had put together previously. Jebba, I know you didn't necessarily mention that before, but would you like to share that with our listeners at this point?
Tell them about that one time.
Yeah, well, the one that comes to mind is the Den of Accursed Shadows.
No.
Hey, you remember that one?
Oh, yes, it's a bad one.
I had all them shadows just floating around, and they was accursed. And that's where I actually picked up this Kolzaxi tear whistle. That's what I'm told it is. Now, I can whittle a whistle. Y'all know I can whittle whistles. But this whistle has some of the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen. I don't even know what it's made out of, but when you blow it, it makes the most awful noise. And I think a lot of folks actually shit their britches when they hear it because they're so scared. So I kept that one. I like to use that from time to time.
You say that, and the Lord is kind of eating. He looks up like, you didn't shit your britches in my house, did you? You didn't just shit your britches here. Okay.
No, I'm used to it. I don't shit my own britches, but if I was to play it right now, and everybody in this room would be shitting their britches, and we'd have to evacuate.
Needless to say, we only use this as a last resort. If you know you're going to shit your britches in advance, it's a little easier to deal with.
Yeah. Well, we don't like to share our britches here in the high society, you know. We take our manners very seriously. Here when you're, you know, in high society and stuff. Anyway, you, Les. What's, you know, what about you? What's your experience, friend?
Well, I got this one time. We had to go and we've had to fight this very powerful dread wizard named Rusk, and we killed him, and I get this wand off of him in his tower. But unfortunately, I think that because of magic spells, I do not think that Elric and Jabba have remembered. I think that it was wiped from the memories.
Yeah, apparently there was a memory wipe spell done on us, so we don't actually remember that.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was.
Huh. Well, you know, magic is a really weird thing. It makes things really delicious, and you know, just I understand. You guys dabble in the magics, right? You said Elric von Sparkly Coat. You said you did, right?
Oh,
Yep.
I do considerably more than dabble.
Oh, good. Okay,
Good
okay.
grace.
Well, that's good. That's good. You guys seem like you've been through some stuff, and that's and he kind of trails off as he gets like distracted by some mashed potatoes or something. That's real good. You see, we got a real crisis around here, and you know, my guards are busy, and I've got lots of forces off fighting in the King's War, fighting for the good side, I should say. You know, but anyway, I got a really important thing I need you guys to take care of me, and we called up the Tunnel Goons, and they sent you, and so I presume you guys can handle this, but yeah. So, and he kind of snaps or claps or whatever, and a servant busts in, you know, kind of very hurriedly busts in from the back room, from the kitchen or wherever, and he has this silver platter that has a cover on it, and is very hurriedly rushes in and sets it down and says, Lord, sir, yes, here you go, Lord, sir. He's like, yeah, uh-huh. He goes, what do you guys think of this? And he grabs the top of the lid or whatever, lifts it off, and it's empty.
I don't think too much of that.
It's absolutely nothing. It's 100% nothing.
Yeah, you guys, even you over there, Jebba River Water guy, you get it. You get it. There's nothing. Now you see, there's this shop down in Greenport called Mufu's Muffinry. You all familiar with that?
Oh, so that place is very scary. I don't like to go there.
I ain't never spent too much time in the city, so I ain't familiar with any of this.
I know. I'm vaguely familiar with it. I never met a muffin I didn't like.
Yeah, no, see, that's the point. I like this guy more and more every time he talks. Yeah, see, so they used to, Mufu, the old baker lady, makes the best muffins, like the best muffins you've ever had in your life. Mufu's mulberry muffins, they're world famous. Even the king likes them, I hear. I don't know for sure, of course. But about a month ago, she just stopped making them. And I keep sending runners down to her shop, and I keep making sure that she knows and they know it's the Lord. Lord Lank needs his muffins. You understand that we need our muffins, and she just can't send anymore. She's something about doesn't have time to make them anymore. Blah blah blah. And you know what? I don't get in the details myself. I have very important Lord things to do. Very important Lord things to run this land so that Greenport stays prosperous and safe. But to do that, a Lord needs his muffins. And so I need to know here now, boys, this is very important, if I can trust you all to send you down to Mufu's Muffinry and find out where the muffins went, because we need our muffins.
Well, hold on there just a minute now. I thought we was going to be hired to go on some important mission, maybe into some kind of cavern or temple or something and get some great treasure. You got us hunting muffins.
Now, listen here, Backwater Boy. You tell me that I am the Lord. Now, between all of us here in this room right now, which one is Lord Lank? It's not you, right? It's me.
Well, hell no, it ain't me.
That's right. Now I'm Lord Lank, and to do my job properly and to keep you and your little farm and your little country people and your favorite little river that you like to swim in and drink from, apparently. Hopefully not the same spot, but I don't know, you do whatever. But, like, to keep all that safe, I need my muffins. And so this is important, and this is, utmost importance, perhaps, because I don't know how much longer I can do my job without I don't get my Mufu's mulberry muffins.
Well, golly, muffins. Well, I guess if it pays right, are we getting paid, or is it just?
Well, now, see, I didn't know if you had the mercantile aspect in that brand. I don't know why I'm going country. I didn't know if you had the mercantile aspect in your head, but it is. Maybe there's two sides to your coin. Maybe that's what we're learning here now. Now, here's the thing. We are fighting the King's War right now, and I will assume for the time being there, Jubba, that you are on the correct side of that conflict. For the moment, given your some might say treacherous backstory, but maybe this is how you can prove to the good Lord Lank that you're supportive of the efforts of this land and making sure that we keep Greenport safe from all them rebels that are out there. But I don't know. Is that the case, Jubba?
Oh, if you say you want muffins and you're going to pay for muffins, you're going to pay us for them muffins, then sure, I'll go find you your muffins. And, well, I don't think we have any problem if you're going to pay us the same.
Any of you others got any input on this matter? Nah, quiet. All right. Well, right. Cut right to the point.
We're deferring to each other.
We're deferring to one another.
Deferring to your expert negotiator.
That's what's kept us alive for so long, is we always defer.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my good friend.
Yeah. Smart. This one again, he's real smart over here.
Well, them two are very considerate. They like to ponder a bit. I just more straightforward. I'm a straight shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I can respect that.
I do, however, have one request. When you do resume your muffin orders, the one out of every dozen that you order, you'll have a boy send one to me at the Flip-Flopped Mermaid Tavern. That's where I live.
Well, now, you see, you didn't know that you were just introducing a correct segue here, but you did, and that's, again, why I like you, Elric Von Dazzle. I'll even get your name right because I like you now. So,
good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
See, now I can't. You asked me about payment over here, Jubba. See, I'm not sure that I like you enough to get your name right yet, but I might in a bit after you make sure I get some of my muffins, because what I have to offer you today is not a bag of coins. And it's not wealth in that respect. But, sir, over here, Mr. Elric, I will not send you a muffin to that tavern that you might frequent, for my offer of payment to you is far grander than that. You see, there's an estate out on the edges of Greenport that is currently unoccupied, that we've been attempting to find a suitable resident in for a while. And knowing that the Tunnel Goons would be forever interested in serving Lord Lank in the future and helping us out in very dangerous endeavors that you are clearly, with your stories, very well suited to handle. Now, I would be willing to grant the Tunnel Goons this estate for their headquarters forever moving forward, should you take care of my needs here today.
Well, you could store a lot of muffins in a place like that, friends.
Yes.
I don't have no need for no city estate. I live in the country.
You can pitch a tent in the backyard.
I hear there an excellent river runs through it. Surely that.
Well, if a river runs
wonderful.
through it, then
That's right.
Well,
right there, fishing and everything.
Yeah, I'll have to check out the river. Yeah, I can live out back next to the river. But, well, we'll have to see it first. We'll do a little tour.
Sure. Well, I mean, there are numerous estates within this Greenport area within our city-state here that, we could... I'm certainly an agreeable lord. I'm not some tyrant up here. That we could certainly find one that suits your specific requirements.
Okay, now.
What do you think, Les? You're interested in real estate?
But I'm not personally, but I think that the organization could be very happy if they were to have such a thing. Yes.
Well, it makes me very happy. The only real wealth is in real estate, friends.
Well, if you say so.
I do.
Well, it sounds like we have an agreement here, is what I'm hearing, which is good. I trusted that should I invite you gentlemen into my home that we would come and offer such a grandiose meal, that we would have and leave with such an agreement. Now, this is, of course, all contingent on making sure that the steady supply of Mufu's mulberry muffins can continue and return, so that we get what we need here in the Lord's estate, so that we can properly govern the Greenport and make sure that all estates, all Tunnel Goons and other organizations and citizens are safe.
Well, then I hope nothing's happened to the muffin maker.
Well, there's only one way for you to find out, I would think. And with that, and he begins the process of standing up, which does take a little bit of time, as he has to kind of push the chair back and kind of wobble up, and then that kind of the heavy breathing. And again, he's also wearing surely what has to be a couple 100 pounds of chainmail, or just so much, and he kind of gets himself up. All right, well, I'm gonna take off now. I got important Lord stuff to do. But you guys want to take any of this? Don't take it all, because we'll need some later. But you can take a little bit of it with you and all. But Gideon will show you out, and just report back with the news that you have solved whatever issue is happening down there at Mufu's Muffinry, and that everything's taken care of and everything's good. And then we'll go about doing some sightseeing with some of my guards. You can pick out which property you would like.
Well, sounds like a deal to me. Mm-hmm. We better head on down to the Muffinry place and see what's happened to old Miss Mufu.
Well, and if there are pierogies left over, he doesn't have to take all of them, but Les will definitely pocket and literally just put it in his pockets.
Oh yeah,
like Napoleon Dynamite with the tater tots, just stuffing them in.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Gonna take some hog legs and put them in my pockets.
I apologize for my companions. And Lord Lank, I would like to recommend, while you wait for those muffins, the time-honored family tradition of the peanut butter and banana sandwich, lightly toasted. You may find that satisfies your sweet tooth in the meantime.
Well, yeah. I'm not much of a fruit or vegetable guy, but I might make an exception for such things. I don't know. We shall see. But man, it sounds like you have never had one of Mufu's mulberry muffins.
I have not.
And Mufu's mulberry muffins are perhaps the best, most delicious treat that have ever been concocted in the history of Greenport or anywhere in this entire world.
Oh. And I hope I live to have the pleasure.
Well, now you better.
So I'm just imagining that we're kind of turning to go and leave and investigate the muffin area or the muffin shop or whatever. But I have less wherever we're going and whatever we're doing. As soon as they're out of earshot of the Lord, Les will just randomly opine to his friends
Do you think he thinks that the chainmail will protect him from heart attack?
Well, I think it's just it's just what these folks do is wear their chainmail around. You know, it's part of their customs.
Wearing chainmail to dinner is very strange to me, but okay.
Well, man likes to look flashy.
Indeed. As you all are kind of having that conversation on the way out, and Gideon is escorting you out of the manor at this point, he kind of he's just kind of listening, and every once in a while kind of shake his head and mumble under his breath. Yes, well, gentlemen, when you have resolved the issue, make sure that you come back up here into the district and that you knock on this front door 4 times, exactly 4 times. And that way we know who you are and what you have accomplished, and then I will come fetch you so that you can report back to Lord Lank your smashing success that we know you will have.
4 times.
Well, all right then, sounds good to me.
Yes, well then I trust our business today is over, and I'll be speaking with you shortly. Okay, thanks, bye. Slams the door right in your face. And you're on, kind of standing outside on the street in, again, you're next to the Lord's mansion, effectively, so you're in one of the nicer, obviously the nicest estate area of Greenport currently. You all may not be familiar with this specific Muffinry, it sounds like, but you would be familiar where it would be generally. Again, Greenport is a large kind of mercantile area. It's got docks. It's a port. It's port city. It's the ports, kind of a port city here within the Kingdom of Karlton. And so it would not be too difficult for you all to kind of know, okay, well, we need to get to this general area of town, and then we can ask around to find the specific Muffinry we're after. This was about dinner time, so we can assume that by the time you get done, you're coming out, it's evening. What's the plan at this point?
I want you guys to know you embarrassed me in there.
Well,
Mostly you.
yeah, well, I don't care too much about fancy ways, so, and I ain't gonna change. You're gonna have to get used to it. I'm surprised you ain't used to it yet.
I'll never get used to it.
Well, anyway, I guess we ought to go scout out this Muffinry place.
I think I know where it is. I'm vaguely familiar with the proprietor. She's very frightening, though.
Well, I mean,
Lead the way, then.
I think it's over by I don't know how to pronounce Drury Lane.
Yeah, Drury Lane, yeah.
well, I don't think I heard a little rhyme about that. Yeah, and anyways, I guess we ought to go. I just don't understand why there's so much fuss over all these muffins. I mean, it seems like just a big waste of time to get us hunting after muffins, and I'd rather be hunting mushrooms, but we got muffins to worry about.
You're going to be eating so many mushroom muffins by the end of all this.
No, I thought they were not mango. What was the fruit? Mulberry, yes,
They'll
mulberry.
be so grateful. They'll make us peanut butter banana mushrooms, and they'll make us mulberry muffins and mushroom muffins and whatever kind of muffins we want. There's some corn.
I mean, their cooks were magical, so they could make all these things: mushrooms, muffins, mulberries, whatever.
Nice corn muffin to go with that hog. You never taste anything better.
That's right. And as you all are kind of walking away from the manor house and having this conversation, just imagine like these jump cuts of blind or curtains up on one of the floors, like every time that. And I keep saying it wrong, and now I can't remember if it's Jebba or Jubba.
Jubba.
Jubba. I thought that's what it was, and I kept playing it out as if the Lord wouldn't remember, but then I actually lost track of it as well. So Jubba,
Jabba.
every time Jubba says something somewhat disparaging, just those curtains kind of open, like the eye of the Lord looks through down on you all, kind of, narratively as you all walk away. So it is evening. By the time you would get to this area of town, it will be night time, probably middle of night time. This is a fairly large Greenport is a fairly large area. Heading down there now to check it out in the nighttime.
Oh, yes.
Excellent. Well, you're heading down that way, and just kind of think of it. In my mind, I'm thinking almost like it's not a Wild West town, as in like there's not steam, locomotives and stuff like that, but just kind of the feel of the area is kind of Wild Westy, and lots of saloons and wooden buildings and cobblestone streets you're kind of going through. And what was the name of that establishment you mentioned earlier, Elric, that you all are currently flopping at?
The Flip-Flopped Mermaid Tavern. That's where I flop. The Flip-Flopped Mermaid Tavern. You'll know it by the sign. You can't miss it. It's literally a flip-flopped mermaid. The top half is a fish, and then the booty half is a woman. It's flip-flopped.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Flip-flop.
Yeah.
Flip-flop mermaid.
That's right.
It's like a maid mer or something. Yeah.
Hey, that's what I should have called it. Yeah, maid mer.
I don't know. We both got to the same place.
That's right.
There's no right or wrong. Not in Greenport, that's for sure.
No right or nothing wrong with a maid mer, I'll tell you that.
That's right. But you happen to be walking past the Flip-Flop Mermaid Tavern. And again, it's fairly late. There's not a lot of people out. But, there's some people kind of enjoying the merriment of the evening. This is a port town. We'll assume it's a fairly nice time of year. There's a nice kind of breeze coming off the bay, and some stars are out. It's a generally nice night, and you're walking past the Flip-Flop Mermaid Tavern, and again, not to fully just say we're in a Wild West town, but out in front there's some hitching posts where you would tie up horses and things like that as you would come in, and you hear as you walk past just a familiar voice cat call you as you go by, and he's like, well, you just gonna walk right on past, ain't you?
Who's there?
You turn around, and at least Elric is familiar, and I would assume all of you are familiar with the voice as it comes out, and it is indeed Simon the Peg and his Buccaneer Bards. And this is a rival adventuring gang that you have butted heads with. You talked about going into the Velvet Crypt, and you guys got there just before. They were also after this mirror ball, and they got there just before you did, and it was only because they fell into a cunning trap that they were stuck, and you were able to sneak around them and achieve that goal. And there were other adventures that you've been sent on that they were able to get to the prize before you, and since it's a constant thorn in your side, it's like, well, look at you all run around in the dark.
Hello, Simon.
Yeah, well, hello, Simon. That's right. What do you want with us? We've got business.
Oh, business, do you? The only business you got is getting somewhere second. That's what I hear.
Well, maybe you should go ahead of us just to trigger any traps that might be in the way. That might be nice.
Oh, that was one. That was once, and it was this guy here, and he points to one of the Buccaneer Bards who's kind of strumming a lute or whatever, and he's like, "That was that guy's fault. That had nothing to do with me." And look, he even lost his leg, and he's got like a peg leg there instead of where it was. Now we could talk about that all night. We could talk about all the times that we beat you fair and square. But maybe where you headed off to right now, huh?
As if we would tell you.
Maybe you should tell us. And he kind of puffs up, and the Buccaneer Bards behind him. There are two of them. Kind of stand up, and they kind of have their lutes. I don't know, in like attack position, but they're just kind of in just like a ready position, almost like they have like a rifle, except for their lutes, of course.
There actually is an attack position, just with KK Downing and Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest with their guitars in an attack position, and you'll know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get really deep into those scales to hit all the notes, you got to get into attack position to go through.
Yeah.
It's for all you three of us here that are, I guess four. Goonie plays guitar too, so. Yeah, I see.
More keys.
Okay, well, it's like. Anyway.
Keyboard. No, not much guitar. No.
All right. Well, anywho, that was a joke for all you musicians out there. Anyway, well, now see, you better tell us where you're going, because, we need to know. Walking down our street in the middle of the night.
Why don't you fellas go get pegged?
Yeah.
Well, as if I haven't heard that one before. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And he also has a peg leg, and he kind of bounces it up on the wooden step. Kunk, 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 kunk. Oh, man, that's kind of like the sound of us beating your ass all the time, isn't it? Isn't it, boys? Yeehaw! As they break into some sort of like a soundtrack. It's like, now we're not going to have any trouble here now, are we?
No, because you brought... Go ahead.
I want to do something, but I'm not sure if I should.
So
Well,
do
you
I.
probably should now
So
since
do
you
I.
talked about it. So,
Well, okay. In that case, I'm going to use his scroll of command,
okay.
and I'm going to command the peg leg guy to sodomize him with his peg leg.
You're right. You shouldn't. Rewind. Wait.
What's said has been said.
Is now committed.
Takesy backsies.
So-
All right, so here we go. We're going to reference our rule book here for spells for goons.
Reference a rulebook for pegging.
A creature. Okay, well, we may have to negotiate here. The command spell. All of these comes, and we're not going to, I guess, not explain all the mechanics or rules of the game, but this supplement gives like a little bit of range information and things of that. So this is within the range of the spell, near range. A creature obeys a single sentence command that will not cause it harm. So, with that frame, what is the single sentence command you are given Simon the
I
Peg?
don't think pegging would cause the pegger harm.
Well, I thought there was just... So did they both... Are there more than one guys with peg legs?
So Simon the Peg has a peg leg, and then one of the Buccaneer Bards has, at least one of them has a peg leg. If another one needs to have a peg leg, sure, another one has one too.
So they could do a double pegitration.
Well, I can only command
Human
one guy, but
pegapede.
it was the bucket. I was attempting to command the Buccaneer Bard
Okay.
sodomize Simon the Peg with your peg leg.
Okay.
Heard that? I bet you haven't heard that one before.
That's right. That's right. Why did we invite somebody to guest GM on this show?
I'm going to blame any pegging directly on Les. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, so yeah, you pull out your scroll, and when you pull out a scroll, they're familiar with magic, and they kind of give a quick like, oh, kind of hesitation, and your single sentence is to Buccaneer. Anybody have a good name that they want for this Buccaneer Bard? I did not name
Brian.
Brian.
He was ready with that name really quick.
Brian, who's
That's right.
Some personal experience with
pegging
someone.
somebody named Brian.
Yeah.
It's the first B name I can think of. Buccaneer Bard Brian.
Okay.
Buccaneer Bar Brian. Yeah, there you go.
Boy.
So he, I don't know that he has a written, interlude or theme song that he would play for this specific pegging situation. However, you see him get that command, and as you use the scroll, so in the spells for goons, there's spells that can be cast kind of traditionally, and there's also rules for just one-time consumable spell scrolls. So each of our characters started with a consumable spell scroll, and then also some of them have some magic that we'll hopefully get into later as well. But spell scrolls just work, no roll required. And yeah, he starts. You see him kind of, his head kind of start to go. Oh, and he. And he just lit. It's almost like I imagine in my head, kind of like a jackhammer. He just picks up the peg leg, and just starts. Now, whether it's successful or not. there is the opportunity. I imagine Simon the Peg's not just going to go gentle into that good night. That there's probably going to be some amount of
resistance. Yeah,
resistance that happens, but that as for at least for the next. And I'm not. Let's check here, see if there's a duration to spells. I don't know if there really is. But we can assume for. I guess that's not. So in this specific roll, it doesn't give duration. But why don't you roll a d6 for me?
Oh, all right. 6.
And we'll say for the next 6 rounds, that Buccaneer Bard is going to try to make that happen. However, this does initiate an amount of combat, or now that our friend Les has gone and cast the first stone, so to speak. Elric and Jubba, you can see that when this starts to happen, that Simon and the other Buccaneer Bard are intent on making it stop and or coming after you. So what are we doing? What's our reaction here?
Well, I'll just leap right in if no one has a problem with that. It's like, well, you guys brought the music, so let me hit the lights, and I'll cast Flash. And while I cast Flash, my black cloak, kind of like reversible, and I've practiced this so many times, I can like instantly whoosh, reverse it to where I'm wearing it like sequence side out right as I cast.
The funny part about that, too, is, and I don't know if you meant this or not, but you mentioned earlier you were not wearing pants.
Yeah, but I was lying.
Maybe as an offhand
lying.
joke.
No.
Yeah, but now you're flashing people and with your cloak.
I was lying to the guy. I have pants. I have really nice ones. And they have little sequins down the side of them. Yeah, I just didn't want to take
All
my
right,
cloak
so
off.
we'll be doing a spell roll in this case.
That's right.
And so on this particular spell, our difficulty is flash, a DS10. Now in Tunnel Goons, you roll 2d6, and you're trying to hit a difficulty score. Yeah. So our difficulty is 10. Our character, this is an erudite-related skill, so we'll add his erudite to that. And then if there are any particular types of equipment that give further bonus or situations that might add a further bonus, we could negotiate those from there. But in this case, I believe your erudite is 3.
It's 3.
Correct?
I just thought this. I mean, it seems too cheap, but one could argue that the glitter and the massive wall of glitter now, like it kind of brightens the flash. But I think 3 is probably good enough.
I think I'll go ahead and I think that's especially in this instance.
Yeah.
There's probably we're in the
dark
starlight
outside,
or the moonlight,
Yeah.
and there's probably some light coming out the tavern windows and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're flashing it, and eyes are sensitive, and I would give you another +1.
Okay, so with a +4, I roll 2d6. Boom, I have a 6 and a 4. Jesus, that's 10 plus 4, 14. Nice.
14. All right, so you give off a blinding flash of light. All creatures in the spell's range except you go blind for a number of turns equal to your level. And I can only assume that also means you're Jubba and Les here. Any particular thing you say or do as this goes off?
No, it just all happened right when I said the word flash. But
and that's indeed what happens.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
this entire little area has been flashed.
Yeah, and I kind of hope they know me well enough to know I know that spell and know what I'm doing. But that's
Jubba,
GM's prerogative.
Yeah. Yeah, Jubba and Les, this is not the first time you've heard him exclaim flash and try to do this. However, I do think still that
it's funnier.
That I'm going to say that let's have you all make a... Erudite is described as perception. So I'm going to say let's have you both make erudite checks. And we're looking, it's an easy one, so looking for 8. See if you can get flashed.
Here it comes. He's doing it again. Ooh. Nope, I wasn't fast enough.
And Les, despite not being particularly erudite, did roll a 9. So
There you go.
Nice.
So, Jubba, you kind of hear flash, and you're like, huh? And then, boom. And so you have been affected by flash.
Oh, it got me.
As well as all of our Buccaneer Bards who had no idea that was coming. But maybe a little more prepared for it should you meet again down the line. But now you have Les, you've done your spell scroll. Elric, you've done your spell. Jubba, you're blind for 6 rounds, it sounded like. Or no. Elric, this one doesn't
This
give
one said
a
level, I think, but for the...
one turn per level? I think 2
equal,
turns.
Oh, number of turns equal to your level.
Yeah, and
that's probably what we should. That's what
that
we
might
should
be a
have done
good
with
default.
The other spell too.
Yeah, it doesn't
So let's say two rounds on the
rounds.
pegging as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Since we are level 2 as well. Jubba, you're going to be blind for this action and whatever your next action would try to be. But anything you'd like to do in this moment?
Well, I can't see. I can hear the action.
You can.
I know somebody's getting pegged. I know what that sounds like. And I'm gonna take out one of these hog legs from my pocket and then throw it in the general direction and say, you can squeeze out some of the grease and use that for lube, my friend.
You know, when you were making your notes for this adventure, Zach, did you have any idea it was going to...
No, I mean, I knew it was the premise of going and seeing what's happening at the muffin shop. I knew it was going to be relatively silly. Didn't quite think we'd... And I knew naming an NPC you all would encounter Simon the Peg, that there was chance that we would go down that joke route at least a little bit. But hey, you know, we're all adults here acting like 11-year-old boys. So eventually that was going to happen anyway.
Peg being smacked by a freaking hog leg, greasy hog leg.
So to me, are you foreseeing yourself brutefully doing that, or more skillfully, skulkily doing that? I guess throwing a leg of lamb or leg of hog or whatever.
Did you not take meat hurling skill?
Let's see, brute, skulker, erudite. No, I don't see meat hurling as a fourth.
I mean,
thing. To me, it seems brute.
Yeah, whatever. Because I have equal points.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one in each. So
yeah, I would say brute, and then get the +1. You're blind and probably not that skilled at throwing a leg. I mean, I don't know you. I don't know your history. Maybe that's something you all do out on the
well,
floor.
that's a game we play. We throw the hog leg.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But since you're blind, I'm going to assume that probably don't get a bonus.
We don't do it blindfolded, so I'm at a disadvantage.
Somebody needs to make an alternate background table where, you know, one of the professions is meat hurler, and then you could have argued for the...
With my 1 from Brute, I got an 8.
8, exactly on. So in this case, you have tied. The way combat works typically was you're trying to hit the difficulty score. Anything you do above the difficulty score is health damage that's done to the target. Anything below the difficulty score is health damage that's done to you. This system treating health as sort of an over-encompassing metric of mental health, physical health, endurance, blah, blah, blah. So, at this point, just with all that's going on and the fact that you're blind and the action that's happening up on the little stoop there, you hear the kind of wet thud of hog leg hitting Simon the Peg. Were you throwing at Simon the Peg or one of the other Buccaneer bards? Or
since he's blind, I was just hoping that whoever was pegging him would be able to... it would land in the vicinity of him so he could use... it was more of just a joke.
For sure.
To use the grease from the hog's lube if needed.
Well, I would say that you connect. We'll say you throw up there, it connects with Simon the Peg, and he's blind, and now all of a sudden this weird, wet, half-chewed meat thing hits him in the head. And that's enough to topple him over as we fast forward the scene a little bit. And that is enough to get him sort of on the ground, or perhaps it hits him in the head, and his natural inclination is to hunch over, perhaps. And so that scene up there is starting to take more of the shape of it that it could be intended to. And we'll roll back around, kind of. And this system, whatever you're fighting doesn't typically get around or get much of an action. I would say that narratively, you've got one Buccaneer bard, Brian, up there trying to ram a peg leg through. We're going to say at least at this point through some breaches, and you've got Simon up there trying to obviously avoid this, and the other Buccaneer bard who's blind and probably just flailing around. So back around to us for the next round. So Jubba, you're still blind for the entirety of this round, but Les, Elric, what's everybody doing?
Well, Les is going to pull out his magic wand and start waving it around because it gives him, a +1 to this roll, and he's going to attempt to cast sleep on Simon the Pig.
Fair.
so he can stop resisting.
Boy's gonna wake up.
Oh my god! Right on an 8.
Gonna wake up sore.
Rolled a 7. I assume my thing with the +1 for spells from the wand is a real thing, right? Yeah, I didn't just make that up.
Yeah. So in this case, so you have your erudite, and again, it's not necessarily that the items themselves are magical, but they are leveraging a bonus based upon what they are in the situation. So in this case, whether that's a real magic wand or not, you believe it's a magic wand, and it helps you focus your magic better. So we'll assume that can give you a +1. So.
Well, very good, because I rolled a 7, so I needed the +1 to make it.
Are either any of the dice you rolled ones?
No, 5 and a 2.
Good. All right. Yeah. So you cast that, and yeah, you can see that all of a sudden he's up there. And he's like, "No, what's happening now, devil?" And
stop resisting.
With an 8, however, it's not. You hit the target number, so it can't be too perfect. So in this case, we're going to say that he does topple and fall asleep, but that he rolls over, and so he falls on. Now he's laying on the ground asleep on his back. So
Damn.
And Elric.
Yeah, I'll.
I guess you. At any point, you all just want to be like, "This is clearly taken care of, and we're going to walk away." That's also suitable at this point. But whatever you want to.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it looks like if the one that's still up and not pegging looks confused and not wanting to tangle with this, and I can see that in his eyes, then I will. In fact, I'll just threaten him, and I'll pull out one of the rocks I have from my bag of rocks. Like, don't make me fireball you.
Who's talking? Who's talking?
Turn and run.
The Buccaneer Bard, effectively, like.
Turn and run.
Simon's
and
passed out
cold.
cold. Yeah, Simon's passed out cold. One of the Buccaneer Bards is a little more not even paying attention to you because he has a mission he's focused on, at least through the end of this round. The other one's blind. He's like, "Oh, I didn't want any of this. I just play the guitar.
Yeah.
I'm just in the band. I'm just the bass player."
That's right. Yeah. Well, in that case, I'll go ahead and throw the rock at him, and I'll say, "Fireball!"
Man, that bass player on bass player
I know.
right there. That's man. Look at you.
I'll say, "Fireball! Fireball!"
Yeah.
And it's not really a fireball. I just throw rocks as my ranged weapon.
So I believe that would fall under Skulker.
Yeah, but I don't hit him because I roll a 3 and I don't have +0.
So you roll a 3. So that would be considered a dangerous action. So in this instance, you go to throw at 3 is your total.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's with. Yeah, you're gonna you go to throw, and you're a very smart magic guy, and maybe you already you did such a fantastic twist and exposure of yourself to flash everybody, and then you just somehow, whether it's you stub a finger when you go into your bag of rocks to pick one up, or when you throw it, you get a strain of shoulder, elbow, something like that. You do indeed, since he's blind. The difficulty score to hit him would have been an 8, so you're going to take 5 damage. The difference between those two.
Yeah, that's what
for reference, our characters currently have either 10 or 11.
I know that's what I get.
Health points, depending on what they did. So
that's what I get for being an asshole. Yeah, I have like longer than they should be fingernails. They're like painted black probably, and one of them, you like bend back a toenail or fingernail real hard, and it's like really awful.
Yeah.
It just hurts real bad. It's throbbing going up my arm now. Oh, smarts.
Yeah. And that's how Tunnel Goons handles combat and system. The enemies never attack you, but depending on how well you do attacking them, there's the narrative explanation on why you might take damage versus you doing damage to them. So, okay. Anything else there? I guess at this point you've got the remainder of this round that Jubba is blind, that this guy is going to be trying to peg Simon the Peg, and you've got another round of Simon the Peg being asleep after that. Do you all want to continue this encounter, or
Let's get out
consider it defeated and move along?
Let's get out of here, fellas.
Yeah, I think we should run away. I think.
Well, you're going to have to lead me. Can't see nothing.
Give it a minute. You'll be fine.
Here, hop on my back, and I will run piggyback ride.
There you go.
Well, yeah, we used to do hogback riding and all that, so Hey, I'm used to that.
All right.
Now, you just tell me when you're ready.
I'm standing right in front of you, waiting for you to hop on.
I'll help him hop on, and then I'll smack his butt and go, let's go! And
And with that, and I assume it's hogback riding, so you have to squeal. That Les would get a little smack, and maybe I'll even take over carte blanche a little here, and just in the spirit of this being the fading scene of our first episode here, that you get a nice little smack on the ass, and there's a little wee as you all as you strut away. Winning the encounter, mind you. We're not running away and as if you lost or anything of that, but move on down the street in triumph with one of our characters piggyback riding on another. As we move down the street in the darkness towards Mufu Muffinry, as our scene comes to a close for this episode of Goonies World.
And just a very, if I may, brief post-credits scene where we're just like, I've got Jub on my back, and I'm running along, and Flash beside me with this flashy coat, and we just hear in the distance Simon wake up, and he's like, "Ow, those are my balls!" I just imagine he's still trying to, Brian's still trying to peg him, and he's slamming this peg leg into his junk. So stupid.
Yep.
he's flip-flopped.
Flip-flop man made.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at Linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.